Welcome to Monday Major. Today we have a guest with us today, so I will invite our student in. Hello, everyone. Hi, Ash.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, hold on.
Great. Hello.
Okay, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm actually in the school office, so
You're still in
um,
the office?
yeah. I just got here because I had an exam to do. So
Oh, I see. Okay, why don't you say hi to our 9 viewers first?
well, okay. So hi everyone. My name is Shah Ashraf Khan. Everyone in school kind of knows me as Ash. I'm actually an international student from Singapore. I've been in Green River for just under 2 years now. Yeah, I haven't gone back to Singapore just yet. So yeah.
Do you miss Singapore?
Honestly, I really do. I miss the food. Honestly, that's the
Yeah.
big thing. I really, really miss the food. But nothing can get better than the food in Singapore. So
Well, I hope you can get back to Singapore soon to eat
hopefully,
all the food you want. Yeah.
COVID and stuff.
Okay, anyway, thanks for being here with us, Ash. So I'll get started with our Monday major interview.
Sure.
And our first question is, what is your major?
So I'm actually a biology major. So
Biology major.
yep.
And why do you decide to go with a bio major?
I think it's more. Um, I just really wanted, from a really young age, to be a doctor. I think that every kid, when you were younger, you're kind of like, oh, I want to be this, I want to be that, I want to be
Yeah.
this and that. I think for me, it's always been like in the science field. So I wanted to be a doctor, I want to be a researcher, stuff like that. So I think like being a doctor was always kind of the one thing that I've always gravitated back to again.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of biology fell into place because I kind of really liked biology since I was pretty young. So when I had the opportunity to kind of take biology as a major here in Green River, I kind of just took the advantage and kind of took it. So yeah.
Yeah. I know a lot of people, students from Asia, like how their parents want them to be a lawyer, doctor.
Yeah.
Do your parents play a role in that, or it's just on you?
Not really, actually. Like my family's kind of, you do your own thing. You're just kind of there to
Yeah.
support me and stuff like that. And because my brother's actually a doctor who also studied in Green River, and he moved to UW medical, and my sister's a lawyer, criminal lawyer. So it's one of those things where my family's always been like, you know what, you do you.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you're happy, we're fine with it. And I think that's kind of the biggest thing as well, because I felt no pressure
Yeah,
um,
that's really
to
great.
do something about it. So I wasn't too afraid to just go and do it.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot sometimes you lose traction in terms of school if you know you're being forced,
Mm-hmm.
and when you're not being forced and it's kind of your own pace, you kind of
Yeah.
enjoy things a bit more. You're not too worried about things. You're not too worried about standards and stuff like that.
Yeah, I
So it's
think
really nice.
that's a really great thing, not being
Exactly.
forced to actually focus on one thing and actually being able to explore whatever you like out there.
Yeah, exactly. It's really, really beneficial, and
Yeah.
like it's a whole different like ball game, you could say.
Mm-hmm. Um, you know, I think like for medical students, I thought they study pre-med in
Mm.
college, but how is pre-med and biology equivalent to one another?
I think there's a very big misconception. I mean, in actual fact, you can actually major in anything.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually major in anything you want, and you can still apply to medical school. I think like the medical school admission committees kind of they know the difference in like rigor between like honor chemistries for like the ACS certified majors in chemistry as well, and also kind of like the standard general chemistry courses that you need
Mm-hmm.
to take as a pre-med major. And I think for example, there's a statistic that came out from I can't remember which university, but it says that um, students who applied for medical school as a pre-med major was about 60% of the time, 60%, and
Mm-hmm.
those who graduated from them, well, the numbers weren't really very big. And the chemistry and biology majors that actually who had actually applied to medical school, the numbers were actually 75 to 80% of the
Yeah.
amount of students that applied to medical school was 75 to 80% chemistry and biology, and not pre-med majors.
No,
So a lot of them
mm-hmm.
obviously you have like a certain amount of a certain number who weren't even in a science major. They were just kind of engineering, stuff like that. So they kind of go both hand in hand, because a pre-med major, you kind of take the same classes as a biology or chemistry kind of major. So you kind of work hand in hand, and do the same thing. So I'm in the same classes as a lot of pre-med students as well.
Yeah. That's really good to know. I mean, for me personally, I find it really confusing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good for people out there who are in that science field.
Yeah, exactly. There's some advantages to not becoming just a pre-med major, because at the end of the day, like I said, you don't need to be a pre-med major to get into med school, but it's always better to, so like for me, for me, it's like I have a biology major, so it's always better to have a fallback plan just in case you don't make it into med school. So in an instance, like okay, if you're a biology major and you decide to apply to med school and you don't get in, what's next, you know? And in that instance, if you have a backup plan, you actually have a safety net. So that's kind of something to think about as well.
Totally. Uh, Another question. I'm pretty sure a lot of bio major or students who are interested in pre-med or med school.
Yeah.
What is easy or what is hard about this major in general?
I think the hardest part of this major really has to be like the extremely packed schedule. Like as a STEM major, you kind of slowly realize that a lot of the classes that you're required to take as a prerequisite aren't actually available all year round. So they're only available at certain times of the year or certain quarters. So you need to make sure that you time everything right, that you have everything scheduled out right. So you have to keep up a level of like a really high level of standard, because you need to make sure that you're getting all the classes you need. You're getting good grades, because there's no time to waste, because like some classes are only available in fall quarter. So if you miss that one or you don't make it for that one, you have to wait a whole year to take the class again.
Oh my god.
So that's why for a lot of STEM majors we take like 2 or 3 years to complete before we transfer out. So I think it's really important to keep track of your schedule, make sure you're constantly on top of it, and make sure you constantly have like good grades, because those really matter. Because a lot of the classes in science, the science classes are like six credits, which is, they have a lot of weightage. So I think also being consistent with your work as well, and making sure that you're getting involved, all that juggling, that is really difficult.
So it all comes down just to time management and consistency. Wow. I mean,
Yeah, it's a lot to juggle too, because I mean, at one point of time you'll be taking, like right now I have a biology lab, I have chemistry lab, and I'm taking math as well. So I'm 2 science classes and I have 1 math class, a high level math class too. So technically I'm taking 3 high level classes, and it's a lot. It, to some people, I'm like, oh, it's just 3 classes, but think about it. It's a lot of work, and it's a lot of kind of managing a schedule, especially if you're someone who's involved with school. Like for me, I'm part of. I'm actually the ASGRC president, so I'm actually the Green River Student Body's president. I'm also a volunteer at the Center of Wellness and Transformation. So handling all that, juggling all that with school can get a little bit tricky. So, like you said, time management is absolutely key.
So, like seeing now, it seems a lot difficult, but just imagine when you actually go into med school and do the practicing, it's going to be more hectic than what you are experiencing now.
Precisely. It's a whole different world.
Yeah. But I think you'll be fine. I think you'll be fine in med school.
Fingers crossed. Yeah.
Okay. So another question for you. So after majoring in bio, what is your career plan or career goal later down the road in the next 5 or 10 years?
I think for me, my plan was actually, my initial plan was just to be a regular, doctor, but like an ER doctor. But I think that has progressively changed as I was able to network with people, talk to people, and I'm actually looking at jumping into like a digital and biological fabrication. So it's a more of a little niche industry, but it's something that it's something that people don't talk about, but it's a very very interesting job. Like I know in MIT they actually have a program for that they are building buildings out of silkworms. So stuff like that. It's thoroughly interesting. So I mean, I know UW, Tacoma, and Seattle. They offer design and biological fabrication majors. So I mean, I'm planning to kind of transfer there.
I see. So after that, are you planning to work here or go back to Singapore and start something there?
I think definitely it's the biological fabrication industry isn't big in Singapore at all. It's
Okay.
still something that's being understood, I guess you could say. So I think working in the US is probably one of my go-to. However, I've been in contact and been trying to network as much as I can, and I've actually met some people from Germany, Switzerland, who actually own companies that do this research, to do this for a living, basically. And
Yeah.
obviously, there's a lot of opportunities overseas as well. So I mean, I'm leaving my options as wide as I can,
Yeah.
in hopes that something will make sense eventually along the line.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always good to have, like you said, a plan B or a backup plan just in
Yeah,
case
it's
it
always
doesn't work. You have something else to fall back on.
yeah, especially as a science major, you
Yeah.
definitely need backup plans just in case, because
Mhm.
it's a very long and lonely road.
Right.
So you
Yes,
need to be able to have multiple plans just in case.
I agree. I agree. So, with more than almost 2 years experience, right, at Green River College, what advice do you have for bio majors students? Yes.
Honestly, I've got it's just one or two, but my first one is make as many friends as you can in the same field as you, same major as you. Like, try to make as many of them as you can. Like, networking is extremely, extremely, extremely important, and a lot of people tend to overlook it, especially international students. We kind of tend to
Yes.
overlook the idea of networking, talking to people, meeting people. But that's actually the most important thing, is um, meeting people and understanding how things work. Like, I didn't know a lot of things until I met a lot of the doctors that work in UW Tacoma, or work in UW Seattle, or they work off campus, stuff like that. And networking and talking to professors, because sometimes professors can actually link you up with their friends also, who
Yeah.
are doctors, who are researchers. And being able to do that, you learn more things that you never knew about, or things that people don't usually see, that are behind the scenes that you might enjoy. Like for me, I didn't know what digital or biological fabrication was, until like really late, into,
Yeah.
like, I think it took me about a year and a half before I actually found out what it was. And the only reason why I found out was because, like I said, I met some people who were from MIT, who were in that program, and they were like, "Oh, this is this," and I found it extremely amazing. So networking, making as many friends as you can, because, like I said prior, it's a long and it's a lonely road.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't met many people who are in the same field as me. Like, for example, my lab class, there's only 20 people,
Yeah.
and Green River has so many students, yet I only have 20 people that I can think of. So it's finding that support is really really important, because you need help with getting through classes, rigorous classes and stuff.
I think students a lot from Green River College, there's one thing in common that we've seen is that people are afraid to reach out first. And it doesn't matter what major you are majoring in, like networking is something that is very important for students,
Mhm.
especially, not only international students, even local students.
Yeah, even local students, it's extremely important. I mean, even if it's networking within, like, for international students, if you're talking to a domestic student,
Yeah.
you're networking with them. And if a domestic student talks to an international student, you're networking with them. You never know. It kind of gets the ball going, kind of gets things going. And because talking to someone else, you're able to learn something new. So just going out there and talking to people, meeting people is an opportunity that no one should ever miss.
Let's see. There's a question in the comment. I don't know if you have the answer to this, but the question is, hey, do we have to pay the quarter term fees when you apply
Apply for
Green River College, I think.
yeah, you definitely have to apply for. I mean, you have to pay for school before you can get in, stuff like that.
But I think you pay later because for new students, after application, they give you at least like a few weeks for you
Yeah,
to get
2 or 3.
things ready. Yeah,
Yeah,
register for classes, so you don't have to worry about your tuition until then.
yeah. Because I mean, when I transferred to Green River, I think I only paid like 2 to 3 weeks into school.
Yeah.
Then I made payment. So
Mhm.
yeah, that should be right. About 2 to 3 weeks.
So, lastly, do you
Mhm.
have any last words again for people watching you right now?
Oof.
Or
I think
something that you think is very important for them to know before applying to college or something like that?
I think for the science majors, if you guys are watching, uh, study and read as many research papers as you can. It's You will not understand how important knowing certain research papers are. Like I've learned that like only recently with higher level like lab classes, being able to pull the informations out, lab reports and whatnot, and using certain research lab what do we call this? Certain research that has been done as your backup for your research and your lab really really important. It can really elevate your work and show the quality of your work, and it's amazing work. So I think being able to read as much research reports as you can. The school has ample amount of them that you can read through. Just go for it, and don't be afraid to ask for help from your professors, because a lot of times the downfall starts because you don't ask questions, and then you get
Yeah.
completely stuck because things are moving very very quickly.
Yeah.
So asking for help and even banding with your group mates, talking to them, seeking help from them can be very very important. I've learned that over the course of like 2 years that I've taken lab classes, that working with your group mates, talking to them, and your classmates, and learning how they learn, picking
Mhm.
here and there, can help you learn better, help your notes get better, help you understand, remember things. So that's very very important. And plan things early. Always have a plan B, and always have a plan C, D, E. Doesn't matter how many backup plans you have, but always have a backup plan just in case things don't work out. Because the worst thing you want to do is if your plan A doesn't work out, then you're taking a lot of time to figure out your plan B. So if you have plan A and plan B and plan C all planned out, and plan A doesn't work out, you can immediately fall back to plan B without wasting any time. And you're getting the ball going, you're constantly growing. And that's the most important, because in the science field, you never want to spend too much time away from the lab. If not, you're going to forget things. So
Yeah. Okay, so there's one more question for you in the comment from Isabel.
mhm.
I think that's a really good question. I think that will be our last and final question to
Oh,
you.
yeah.
So, how do you juggle being a student body president and difficult science coursework?
Damn, that's a good question. um, Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it's been an absolute challenge.
Yeah.
uh, it's because as student body president as well, you're not only dealing with things in school, but you're actually dealing with state legislators. You're dealing with board of trustee members from the school. You're dealing with the
Mm-hmm.
president of the school. You're dealing with a lot of things around you. And with the amount of coursework, because you're spending close to like 20 or 30 hours outside of class doing class stuff. So being juggling that can get tricky. And the one thing I've learned is that your mental health takes a toll.
Mm-hmm.
and your physical health takes a toll, because I can honestly say that I don't get enough sleep. So being able to use the school's resources like the counseling center, being able to talk to my advisor, have actually helped me, I guess you could say, handle all this crazy
Mm-hmm.
workload. Being able to schedule everything is extremely important, because people tend to overlook mental health, and it's something that I have realized over time that talking to someone about mental health, figuring out mental health, is key to pushing you to greater heights. And I think Green River has an amazing support system. That's why I volunteer and I'm a peer educator for the Center of Wellness and Transformation. I'm also a peer educator for like the counseling center as well. So it's a it's something that you really need to be hungry for. If you're not
Mm-hmm.
hungry for it, then things might seem very dreadful. So if you enjoy what you're doing, like if you enjoy the job you're doing, it's no longer a job. So I enjoy being the president of Green River, because I enjoy talking to people. So I don't feel like it's a job anymore. I feel like
A
it
hobby.
yeah, it's a hobby. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy waking up. I enjoy doing it. So to me, it's, if you find enjoyment in it, it's no longer a job. It's a hobby, and you learn how to adapt and you learn how to fit things in
Mm-hmm.
to help you.
Yeah, it's incredible how you can take so many positions at school while being a medical student as well. That's great, Ash. Really.
I'm struggling, but I'm getting there.
I mean, at the end of the day, you'll get what you're working for, right? It's worth it.
Yeah, exactly.
Every
It's
every
definitely,
second, every minute. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's extremely worth it.
Okay, I think that's all I have for you today.
Great, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on here to share your experience, what biology major is going through, all of that. So thank you so much, Ash, and
Thank you so much.
hopefully you
Yeah.
can come back again next time, as an alumni maybe.
Oh, I mean, I don't mind. Yeah, but thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay, thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you next Monday.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, bye, Ash. Bye, everyone.